So when it comes to stitching the under collar to the upper collar, right? So they're all, actually they're not all interfaced, or this maybe shouldn't be interfaced, but I usually keep them all pinned together until you're about to use them. Because again, the top, I put a T for the upper collar, is a little bit wider than the under collar. So if you see, there's an extra 1/8 of an inch. So again, when it rolls to the outside of the garment, there's that extra bit of fabric to get it to the outside. So, but the directions ask you guys to stay stitched the bottom of pieces 11 and so these pieces, and this is actually the neckline, sorry. So we're gonna stay stitched here and here, right? Just like we stitched stay stitched the neckline of the jacket itself. And after they're stay stitched, we're basically going to stitch the under collar, or the stand, the collar stand, to its respective over collar. Okay, so we stay stitched piece 11, so that way, again, with right sides together, it'll fit into the collar stand, which is piece 10. And the key here is there's gonna be some points, right? So if I snip, it'll probably make it a little bit easier to fit in there, but you are matching notches to large dots. And again, it's kind of tricky, this very first small dot. We're matching small and large dots. If you get it in there and then align the top edges, that's a good starting point. And then go ahead and pin. Same thing here, small dot at the very edge. And there it is, right? And I'm kind of turning the collar stand so the tops are flush. And that'll give me the direction to go on the inside, because pre-snipping and stay stitching, it wasn't fitting. There was more room in the back, or excuse me, on the upper collar. And now it seems to be fitting okay, because we stay stitched and snipped. So now we're taking the over collar and stitching it, or no, I'm sorry, this is the under collar, and stitching it to right sides together. Here's the front, right, of the men's jacket. So the tricky thing is definitely we're going to match those notches up, right? And we're going to sew to the notches, not through them. And as you can see with the lapel here, this lapel is free, okay? So that means that the collar top, right, just like it shows here, comes right to that small dot that is the beginning of the tip of the lapel. So, and again, I like finding centers, so I'll do that here in addition to matching small and large dots. So here's the center back. So I just folded the collar in half. And this is where, again, I stay stitched. I also press seams open, even though I just stay stitched it closed, but I'll reopen it. And it looks like I'll need to snip maybe a little bit just to get the curve. So that's why it's, we're stay stitching at 1/2 inch, right, which is a regular stitch. And I'll go ahead and I'll pin this down. So just to avoid some little puckers, when you do sew, right, the collar, when you get to the end of the stand, right, make sure you pull the seam allowances away and just sew to the 5/8 inch line. And then treat the other side as a separate stitch line. So go ahead and back stitch where you push both of the seam allowance to this side and then start where you left off. And that'll keep it from creating these puckers from running over the seam allowances.